right, welcome to week 2 edition of the Fantasy Football Last Call podcast. I'm Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me this week, subbing in for Dave Eddy, is Michael Tomlin. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Rough day. Rough day for all of us.
It's been a bad day all around. Everybody who's watching, listening, obviously knows all the injuries. It's been a brutal day all around. I'm sure we'll touch on plenty of that, but let's just jump into it, man. Right now, we've got the Patriots and Seahawks at halftime, so we're going to rip through the rest of the Sunday games. Starting here with the Giants and the Bears. Not a pretty game fantasy-wise. I mean, Ingram was the leader for the Giants here, 6 for 65, so good there for PPR. David Montgomery, 16 for 82, looked pretty good. Caught a pass down the sideline and ran his way into the end zone there. So you're lucking that for Montgomery, but I think he got banged up. I don't know exactly what the injury was, but I know he got knocked out. On the other side of the ball, the big injury news, probably the biggest of the day. There was a lot of it. Biggest injury news of the day, Saquon Barkley, done for the year, ACL. It looked like he might have not done that. Like he kind of hobbled to the sideline, and then the cart came out, and you were like, oh, no. I mean, who gains the most value here? Like, I don't know if anybody's excited about like Wayne Gallman or Dion Lewis, but like, are we more excited about this passing game at all now? I mean, it's been pretty bad the first couple of weeks outside of Slayton.
I mean, maybe you bump the passing game up, but I wrote about it in the preseason, the handcuff article, and I had a separate group, which was Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and it was like there is no handcuff because handcuffs need to get the volume and have some sort of talent. Well, those guys, they have such special talent that they turn bad offensive plays into good offensive plays. And so if you can't do that, then it's not worth it to have anyone. Like, are you really going to start Dion Lewis or Wayne Gallman in the league?
No.
Like, you have to have a super deep league to do that.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Like,
none of those guys.
It's not happening.
It's not like if Cook goes down, Madison's an RB1
Right, exactly.
close to it.
There's
right?
not a good
or
guy
Pollard
behind him.
jumping in, right? There's just nothing. Like, you're not excited about it. There's very few handcuffs where even if they're the guy, you're loving their situation. Like, their flex. I mean, flex appeal at best. So it's a bad situation. Feel it for Saquon owners. I'm one of my like 8 or 9 leagues. I don't know how many I'm in.
We're in a league together.
Right? Yeah, you traded for him in
a
the
dynasty
contract league. You gave up like your future and then some for it. So you went for it this year and it backfired. But
well, I'll say one thing about that game, and it's me tail between my legs. I'm caught. I was high on Tariq Cohen. I think he can almost be dropped. Because Dave Montgomery, 3 catches, 45 yards in the touchdown. Tariq had 1 catch on 1 target.
Well,
like,
I would
Dave
say let's wait.
He got hurt for a minute, but he came back.
Did he? I knew he went out.
Yeah. He came back in later.
No, did he? Okay, yeah, that's what I knew he went out. Yeah, I mean Cohen. I don't know. It's just a weird situation. I know there's a lot of Cohen truthers out there. I was never one of them because even last year he didn't get used. And I was just like, while Montgomery's there, Cohen's not relevant. So he just doesn't get enough. He just doesn't get enough work. So anyway, let's move on here. Falcons Cowboys, big score. One of the big scores of the day. Probably actually, is it the highest score of the game of the day?
Has to be.
It
79
is.
points.
39-40. Cowboys sneak this one out, man. It was an interesting game. They got down big early. A lot of turnovers early. Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley were on fire early. Ridley finished 7 for 109 and 2. Dak ended up finishing the day 34 for 47, 450 yards and a touchdown. I think he ran in a couple too. He ran in 3, right? Man, I was so pissed. I'm a Zeke owner.
Yeah, he ran in 3.
Yeah, I'm a Zeke owner,
4
man. I was so
touchdowns.
pissed.
Yeah, it's not great for Zeke.
I mean, obviously the storyline is, the big storyline of this one is obviously the, Falcons just choking it away once again. Super Bowl flashbacks. Big offensive game. The fun storyline is that freaking amazing onside kick I mean,
Uh,
that was
I'm
incredible.
the biggest Cowboy fan, and I was like, we're done. You can't do onside kicks now in today's NFL. Well, Greg Zuerlein had something ready for me, and he put this
Figured it out
weird
without
spin
a
out like
tee.
he's playing Golden Tee.
He
and
did it.
It was perfect.
He kicked it without a tee. He just had
if
it
you
laying
think
on the
about
ground and then just.
So that slow roller, it makes the most sense because
Yes.
what you I was
It
on
lets
hands team in
everybody
college.
have
What you teach hands team is you do not touch the ball until it gets 10 yards. And you saw there was 3 Falcons that could have just jumped on it, but they're told don't touch it until it gets to 10. So because of that, the slow roller, they're waiting, and then the Cowboy jumped slightly before him, and we got the ball. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts, man. The Red Zone was showing that one, and I was in shock, dude. It was pretty awesome. Next game here, we got Lions and Packers. Lions, I mean, not a good stat line. It's the stat line, though, to pay attention to for Detroit, and it's Matt Stafford. He's been very inefficient so far to start the year. 20 for 33, 244, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Last week wasn't any better. He's missing Golladay big time, I feel like. Aaron Jones on the other side of the ball, massive day, man. 18
Monster.
for 168, 2 touchdowns, caught 4 for 68, and another touchdown. I was this close to putting him in my DFS lineup and with Derrick Henry instead, and we all know how that worked out. I know, man. I was like, flip the coin, and it landed on Derrick Henry, and I lost.
That's a bad flip.
The storyline here, man, is really there was a couple, but I really kind of stuck with the Lions here and said, is anybody startable for this Lions team right now until Golladay gets back?
Man, I was a big Marvin Jones guy, but with Golladay out, like he got a touchdown today, it makes it look better. But 4 catches for 23 yards when they're down almost the whole game, like it's something that whole offense. I mean, Hawkinson, maybe he had 4 for 62, not terrible.
Was like, I put Cephas in my DFS line because he was dirt cheap, and I thought he'd get the volume. I thought $3,500 or whatever he was on DFS and on DK.
Yeah.
And I put him in there as like a high volume play, like cheap, and I could plug in a bunch of like studs around him.
And then Marvin Hall catches a touchdown.
Right. I mean, it even didn't matter. Like I don't even know what his stat line was. I was just pissed. I didn't look at anything.
Yeah, it was 3 for 54. Not great.
After Paris Campbell, because I had him in there too. After Paris Campbell went out, two plays into the game, I was like, I'm just drinking today.
Yeah.
That started all the injuries.
The Lions, there's going to be a running back, there's going to be a receiver every week that's worth it. But you're never going to know which one it is.
I mean,
today, Carry-On got the touchdown.
Right. The rushing attack kind of evened out. There wasn't any like big guy. AP kind of fell back down to earth. We all expected that. Carry-On got the touches. Swift isn't really getting involved as much as we were hoping. It's just a mess over there. I will say this before we move on to the Jags Titans. I told you guys so on Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, but I did. Like, you can't trust this guy. Like, he's gonna have these massive games, and he had an okay game, but everybody's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is back. Yeah, we said that crap last year. How many times? And like 2 or 3 times he has those like gigantic games, and then today he's just kind of there. He's just a quarterback at this point.
If Devontae Adams is fully healthy, he has some hamstring issues that they didn't show too much. They kept showing him on the side and didn't talk about it. I think if he's fully healthy, Aaron Rodgers
it's a different story,
100%
maybe.
Startable. But when he's not fully healthy, then he's not, because they're going to run Aaron Jones like you saw today, and that's probably the best.
But even last year, man, like we saw last year, I mean, 240 and 2, that's not bad. I mean, you'll take that, but that's just an average quarterback day. You're getting that from 10 other guys. That's the thing. So it's just like, anyway. Jags Titans. Jags lose this one 30-33, a much closer game than I expected it to be be perfectly honest.
He made a lot of survivor pools tighten up.
Right. Robinson for the Jags looked good today, 16 for 102 and 1. On the Titans side here, we got Jonnu Smith 4 for 84 and 2. He got his 2 touchdowns pretty early, I feel like. The storyline I've taken out of this is DJ Chark, man. The target share just isn't there for him this year. He got like 3 last week, Granted, he caught all 3 for a touchdown. He got 4 this week, I think. And it just, yeah. I mean, he put up a decent stat line off of what he's getting.
Oh yeah, phenomenal for 4 targets.
4 for 84, but like, if you had told me that Minshew was going to throw the ball 45 times, I would have said Chark was going to get 10 targets.
Yeah.
He got 4.
And
he got 3 last week. What's going on?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Jaguars had 4 targets or more. 8.
Yeah.
So you're saying DJ Chark's as good as 7 other guys?
I mean, Keelan Cole, Chris Connolly, 7 and 7. Eifert got 6. I mean, what? What's going on here? Like, are we not gonna? I mean, is Chark losing some steam here? What's going on with him?
I'm downgrading the rest of the year. There's like low key. That's a decent group of pass catchers there. Mm-hmm. I mean, Keelan Cole. Everyone discounts him. He was a freaking stud 2 years ago for the last few weeks. Chris Conley's always been solid. Tyler Eifert's healthy, so if he's healthy, he's good. Chenault, I think, is one of the best rookies. Then Thompson's one of the best pass catchers. Like, there's just too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, there are a lot of mouths to feed there. Nobody, like, awesome. Chark's the best talent, I feel like, but there's just a lot of guys.
It's not like he's Julio with a bunch of spares. It's
yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be something to watch. I mean, I'm probably going to stick with him because in the leagues I have him. He was like my second receiver, and I'm probably just going to throw him in there. I mean, he keeps performing. He's not like he's killing me, but he's not giving me what I hope. I mean, he's giving me like 10.5 points every week, and I'm like, great.
I mean, 21 yards a target.
I know. That's so silly, man. It's so silly. All right, Vikings and Colts. Vikings lose this one 11-28. Interesting score. Cousins was atrocious in this game, man. 11 for 26, 113, 0 interceptions, 3 picks. Jonathan Taylor has arrived, my friends. 26 for 101 and a touchdown. I mean, this was obviously the coming out party for him, and a lot of people expected it with Marlon Mack out. But, I mean, he's just plug and play at this point, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Cousins just being that bad. I mean, Adam Thielen, 8 targets, 3 catches, 31 yards. Like, I'm downgrading all the Vikings. If Cousins, the Colts aren't that good. They just lost to the Jaguars last week.
Yeah,
like Minnesota was one of my best bets, I think, even, and they just got throttled.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close the whole game.
Yeah, we'll say this. I plugged in Mo Alley Cox in a league. I had Kittle in a dynasty league. 5 for 111. Yeah. I was like, my other tight end was Disley, and I was like, I can't do that yet. So I saw Mo Alley Cox out there, and I was like, well, Rivers likes his tight end, so there we go.
I'm not gonna lie, I never heard that name until today. So apparently, I'm slacking on my tight end research. But yeah, 5 for 111. You can get out of a backup tight end. That's
pretty nice.
Strong.
Yeah. So next game here, we got Bills and Jets. Bills, another tight one, man. 31-28. I was expecting them to just get throttled. Josh Allen, a nice day. 24 for 25. Did I write that?
35.
35. I was like, that seems weird.
Yeah, that would have been.
I was like, hell yeah. 417 yards and 4 touchdowns. Josh Allen is the real deal, everybody. I know it's the Jets, but he's getting it done, man. What?
You have Bills Jets. It was Bills Dolphins.
Was it Bills Dolphins?
Yeah, they played Jets last week.
Oh, all right.
But
duh.
The same exact team.
At least I wrote down the right stat line. Fitz.
Yeah, you have the right stats.
31 for 47, 328 yards and 2 touchdowns. A pretty nice fantasy day for him too. I mean, the thing that I took out of this game was just the backfields for both these teams, and really nobody wanted anything to do with the Jets. So let's focus on the Bills, right? The Bills with Moss and Singletary, it's just not there, man. There's too split. There's nobody getting enough work, in my opinion. I mean, are you comfortable starting either one of these guys until somebody, can really make a dent?
No. I mean, no back in the entire game had more than 10 carries. How many times are you going to see that in an NFL game? No one had more than 10 carries.
It happened last week, too. They both had 9.
It's there's not enough work because Josh Allen runs too much. He only had 4 today, but he's always going to bolster those goal line touchdowns.
Right.
He doesn't throw to the backs at all. Singletary had 2 catches today. That's probably career high. It's just it's not enough to work. Like I have Singletary in a few leagues, and I'm pretty disappointed. I'm gonna have to look at. Like I'm gonna keep him, but I'm not gonna be starting him.
No, you just can't. So the real Jets game today was 49ers Jets. 49ers beat them 31-12. That's more like it. Jets got wrecked. Mostert 8 for 92 and a touchdown. Had a big I think it was like a 60 or no, it was like an 85 yard. It was something crazy. It was some crazy long run. I don't remember exactly what it was.
80.
But he did it. He did that same thing last week. But it's just I don't know. I mean, if he doesn't do that, what's his day really looking like? I don't know what to think with him. On the Jets
he
side
also left with an injury too.
He did.
He's on that list as well. He left with an injury. I didn't see what it was.
On the Jet side of the ball, let's just save some time here and not mention them. It's bad. But yeah, I mean, look, say Mostert is healthy. I mean, where are you comfortable starting him? I mean, these big plays aren't going to continue at this rate. I
mean, we say that, but it's 2 games in. He has 2 big plays, and he's probably like the running back 3 or 4, I bet, right now overall. And he missed
an
a
80-yard
quarter
run,
and a half today. Yeah, and
did,
so
yeah.
We want to always say regression. He's not going to do that again, but I'm going to keep starting him until he proves me wrong. When he has 8, 10 touches, but he has 20-something fantasy points.
Yeah,
you can't. You got to go with that until it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean he's probably RB2.
Well, and I don't know the extent of Garoppolo's injury. If he's really hurt and Mullins has to come in, that's even more.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, the 49ers lost Bosa, Mostert, and Garoppolo, and they were already out Kittle. They've been down, obviously, Debo. 49ers
they're in bad shape.
Not looking good. Jordan Reed had a big day, 7 for 50 and 2 touchdowns. So those of you who lost Kittle and were able to stream Reed, congrats there. Next game we've got is Rams and Eagles. Rams 37, Eagles 19. Goff, pretty good day, 20 for 27, 267 and 3 touchdowns. Wentz just I literally don't blame any of this on Wentz at this point. The offensive line is just he has nothing going on back there. No receivers. Everybody knows just cover the tight ends. He's got nothing. But 26 for 43, 242, zero touchdowns and 2 picks. I mean, hey, Sanders came back and at least he played pretty well. But the storyline here is Akers got hurt. I don't know the extent of it. Henderson saw 12 carries. I think Brown saw 11, which was pretty surprising. Maybe that was because they were up big and they just didn't use Brown late. But I was shocked to see Henderson get more work than Brown. I mean, what do we think going forward if Akers is out long term?
Well, I mean, we all rushed to pick up Malcolm Brown. He looked amazing against the Cowboys. But I think maybe Sean McVay was just telling the truth. He's going to play the hot hand.
Yep.
Henderson, today, Malcolm Brown he got carries first, but then he didn't do much. Henderson did, and then Henderson with more carries and the goal line carries. He's literally going to play the hot hand. So good luck picking that every week. So I'm going to stay away from that backfield.
Yeah, pretty much. Broncos and Steelers. Steelers win this one 26-21. Mel Gordon for the Broncos, 19 for 70, 2 for 14 for catching the ball for a touchdown. That was without Phillip Lindsay today, who's out for 2 to 4 weeks with a toe injury. James Conner. Everybody loved Snell, and I did too, man. I thought Conner was out for a couple weeks at least, and even if he was, there was talk that they were going to be splitting work, that maybe Snell looked way better. Conner shut all that up big time today, man. 16 for 106 and a touchdown. He looked fantastic.
But that's the story of James Conner. He's going to look great when you're not starting him. And then what's going to happen next week? Everyone's going to start him. And then he's going to go out in the first series with a ingrown toenail. And so then he's going to be done for the rest of the game. You got a 0.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much answered the question for me. It's what do we think about Snell and Connor? You're reacting to the game.
My son's trying to get in the frame.
Oh, talking a little cameo
All right, we're
action.
He's good. He went back.
Panthers and Bucks next game here. Panthers lose 17-31. Christian McCaffrey, pretty inefficient day, 18 for 59 and 2 touchdowns, 4 for 29. I mean, thankfully he's getting the end zone, getting in the end zone a couple of times here every week, but otherwise, like, it's not the Christian McCaffrey we were used to.
Well, he also left with an injury.
That's right, late. That's right. I did get the notification late.
He walked off and everything, but he left.
So, yeah, that's right. So, I don't get to watch many of the late games. So, because we go out to dinner with kids and everything else and put them to bed. So, I get all the notifications. I totally forgot about that one. Did he come back?
He did not come back.
Okay.
Because otherwise his day might have been huge. Because then they were throwing him. Mike Davis had 8 catches today.
Woo.
8 catches. And most of them were the last 2 drives and McCaffrey was out. And honestly, that's why I kept my love for McCaffrey this year, because I figured they'd be down like this a lot. And he's going to pick up those garbage time catches and
garbage
yards.
time, yep.
Because, if he gets even 4 of those, then his day is huge. But he went out and
it just says ankle
the top
injury.
2 picks now.
It just says an ankle injury, so yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Storyline here though, Fournette, 12 carries, 102 yards and 2 touchdowns.
As we talked about, I have Saquon in the league we're in together, and I traded Fournette, CeeDee Lamb, and a first-round pick to get him.
Yeah,
and that did not work out well for me today.
I don't know if we're getting 102 yards and 2 touchdowns from Fournette every week, but obviously you've lost Saquon, so that hurt. That burns really bad.
Well, I think the biggest thing was Rojo fumbled.
Yeah,
he fumbled and he was out.
He's out,
and Fournette was in the rest of the game.
Yeah, do we think this is just like he got benched because of the fumble, or is this going to be the trend going forward? Like Fournette's going to take this over now. What do you think?
It's going to be who Brady wants back there, and he's not going to want someone that fumbles. But we all know that Brady, he has no long-term memory on these things. So when Fournette messes up, then Rojo will come back, because Rojo was great last week. Like he was really
pretty
good.
Decent early on in this game too. He scored.
Yeah, and then the one fumble, and then he's out. So I think once Fournette misses a pass pro or fumbles again, then Rojo will get it back. But for the time being, I think it's Fournette's job.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you there. Next game here, Washington football team and Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals win 30-15. Terry McLaurin, huge day there, 7 for 125 and a touchdown. Gibson looked okay too, 55 yards and a touchdown rushing. So he got the lion's share of the carries there, which is what a lot of people were hoping to see. Kyler Murray on the other side, 286 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I don't know what his rushing total was, but I'm sure it was
67 rushing.
67 rushing. Yeah, there you go.
On 8 carries.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, guys.
Yeah.
Here's the question: has Kyler leaped into elite territory at this point? Like he did it against San Fran of all teams last week. This week, I don't think the Washington defense is any joke. Like their front seven is stacked, dude. And he's making it look easy.
We saw that at Carson Wentz last week, who's seen as a top 10 quarterback. And that second half, they made Carson Wentz look very pedestrian.
Well,
and
I think
Kyler
Carson Wentz going to have problems all year,
on
unfortunately.
Well, Kyler made them look dumb today a couple of times, where he just takes off and he just has that second step explosiveness that no one can get to him. Not even Chase Young, who is a freak of an athlete.
Yeah.
But Kyler just gets away from him.
At
this point, he in DFS, I'm probably starting him every week until he gets priced up there with Lamar and Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I almost started him this week, put in Matt Ryan instead, which I think worked out. But
but
he was one of my
18.7 rushing points. 18.7 rushing.
Yeah,
that's Lamar-esque from last year.
I was gonna say, he's up there with the Lamar and the Mahomes now at this point. I think so. We'll see what happens.
I also think though, Antonio Gibson getting the 13 carries and then also getting a couple. I think it's his job now. I think McKissick, Barber, Love, whoever. I think Antonio Gibson's going to be.
I really wish they would give Love a little bit of work here.
Was he even active today?
I don't know. He wasn't last week.
He wasn't last week, but I didn't see if he was active. He didn't get a carry or anything. But I was like, I
wish they would give him a chance. I think he's talented, but unfortunately, they just don't seem to agree.
Right.
Next game here, Chiefs and Chargers, overtime game, win by a field goal. Chiefs 23-20. Pat Mahomes 3 for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you'll love this one. Not the greatest day ever.
I'm just saying.
He is human after all, everybody. 38 rushing yards. Did catch 6 though, so he's involved in the passing game. So not a total bust, but Kelsey 9 catches for 90. Tyreek caught 5 for 59 and a touch as well. So not the greatest of fantasy games from the Chiefs. But, you'll take it if you had Kelsey and Hill. He got kind of bailed out by the touchdown. On the Chargers side of the ball, shocker, switch a quarterback late because of a chest injury from Tyrod.
Does that mean COVID? Is that the new COVID thing? They say it's chest injury, maybe?
No, I don't think so because it
was pregame.
Yeah, but they were looking at him. Ooh, we got a rumble on the sideline here, Patriots and Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Whoa, the people aren't happy.
Hockey's
this doesn't look like
out.
social distancing, guys.
Hockey. My team just Stanley Cup final. I'm all about that hockey fire.
Yeah, so they had to use Herbert today. Something about chest injury. I mean, I don't think it's COVID because they were like up close. He didn't have nothing. Like they had him on the sideline. They were like looking at him. So I don't. Okay. They just said chest injury. So I don't know exactly what happened. But and they've come out
weird pregame.
They've come out afterward. Yeah, I mean, even the announcers were like, "That's the first time I've ever heard that before."
Yeah.
They've come out and said after the game, like if Tyrod's healthy next week, he's 100% the starter.
They said that?
Yeah. I was like, dude, Herbert played phenomenal.
It was amazing.
Against the Chiefs of all teams, like he kept them in the game. He almost won the damn game.
311 yards in the touchdown.
I will say this.
And rushing, he was great. That guy's amazing.
Eckler, people who have Eckler on their team, 100% want Herbert to be in there. 93 rushing yards from Eckler, and he caught 4 for 50. Like, you want him in there. He was looking for Eckler often. So yeah, you 100% want him in there. Keenan Allen had a good game. It was just a much better offense from the support players than with Tyrod.
And I love Tyrod, but man, Justin Herbert he came in, the ball popped out of his hand every time. He was confident with his decisions. He threw that one pick, but he came right back the next drive, wasn't scared about it. Like, that's what you want out of a quarterback.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised, honestly, because I didn't like him coming out. I thought he was really raw, and maybe it was just the kind of thing where, like, adrenaline, he wasn't expecting it. Adrenaline's running high.
Maybe.
And the Chiefs weren't even expecting it. It was just one of those things, like, it could be the type of thing where it's like, the back comes in and plays really well. Then next week he gets game planned for, and he just gets absolutely shelled. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets some more work here soon.
But I gotta say, we're 2 weeks into the whole victory laps about CEH. He's been RB13 and he's RB23, and there's still 2 games left. Like, can we slow down on crowning the guy? He hasn't even turned into RB1 performance yet. I'm just saying, like, everyone jumped off the couch. Oh, I was so right about CH last week. He was RB13, which is good. And then he's RB23, and there's still 2 games left. And you drafted him in the top 7. Like, you kind of want more than that in the top 7. So,
yeah, you're right.
Maybe we should slow down our victory laps on CEH.
You are right. I wanted nothing to do with him up there. I ranked him up there because you kind of had to, but
you didn't draft him up there though.
I picked otherwise. Let's say that.
But Kelsey, who we also have talked about, 9 for 90 and a touchdown again.
Yeah,
he's pretty solid now.
He is, but you know what though? You're getting that production from other guys who I think you can get late. I'll still ride on that horse there. Last game of the day here that we're going to talk about is Ravens and Texans. Ravens win 33-16. Nothing great from the Ravens offense. I mean, Lamar 204 and a touchdown, ran for 54. Okay day. On the other side, Cooks went 5 for 95, so okay there. The interesting part was the backfield for this Ravens, and Dobbins was the story last week and made all the Ingram owners, super nervous. Ingram owners aren't feeling too much better, but Dobbins only got 2 carries. That's interesting. To where Gus Edwards saw 10. Like, what? I don't know what to think of this backfield.
And he averaged 7.3 yards a carry, too. It's not like he got 10 and got 40. He got 10.
Gus Edwards was really productive last year on a per-carry basis.
I thought I heard a stat. Like, there's only been, 3 guys in the history of the league to have so many carries and average 5 yards a carry the first 2 leagues. It's like him and LT and Marshall Faulk or something crazy. Yeah. And it's just like, what?
Yeah, he's super productive when he carries the ball, but I just don't think they believe that he can be a full-time guy. It's funny because Dylan was on the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour this past Thursday, and we talked about this backfield, and he goes, is it weird to say that I don't want to own any part of this backfield, even though they're like the best rushing team in the NFL? And I was like, and I said no. I was like, no, you're right on. Like, you can't start these guys.
So Ingram had a 30-yard touchdown run, which was kind of a fluky Wildcat deal. So if he doesn't have that, he has 25 yards and 8 carries.
Yeah, I mean,
Dobbins has 48
give that
on
a 10-yard gain, right? Give that like a 10-yard gain.
Just say
that's generous, right? It's a normal gain.
So he's at 35 yards on 8 carries. Like, none of those guys are worth starting.
No.
Or if you combine them all, it's great. Even Lamar today, he had 54 yards on 16 carries. Overall, the whole is great. But I think there's so many pieces now, and they're doing it on purpose. They have bigger goals than winning us fantasy titles.
Yeah.
So they're going to spread it all out. They want J.K. Dobbins to slow his way in so he's ready to playoffs. They don't want, although 16 carries to Lamar, I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. They talked about reducing his rushing attempts this year, and so far not happening, guys. They have a lot of design.
He's running more on passes for sure.
There's actually a lot of design runs for him, though. Yeah. Still, I was watching the game. Obviously you're starting Lamar. Ingram's in that flex consideration area, but it's tough with this whole backfield. I said it, a long time ago during the draft shows. I really didn't want anybody on this team except for Lamar and Andrews. And even Andrews, I thought was gonna come crashing back down to earth. Now, week 1, I was eating crow, but this week, 1 for 29. I mean, hello.
Only 3 targets too.
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't have to do much. Lamar threw the ball 24 times, and that's what happened. So the receiving core for this team isn't gonna be, super reliable, unfortunately. They've got talent, but this is not super reliable.
Maybe I missed it, but did Will Fuller get hurt? Because he had 0 targets. I just noticed that. I'm looking. He had a rush, and he had 0 targets.
I don't know, man. There's so many injuries today.
I can't even keep track of them.
Yeah, it was
like Will Fuller. He was the darling of week 1. Like, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Will Fuller finally's healthy," and then he has 0 targets today. I never got a notification. I was watching the game kind of, but I was more focused on the Chiefs game.
I'm looking it up now that you said that. Will Fuller, Houston Texans.
But Brandon Cooks 5 for 95. I think that might be.
Yeah, you'll take it. He just wasn't targeted. That's all there is to it. I mean, healthy. Baltimore's defense, dude. They'll do that to you. They're good. So
they spread it around.
Yeah, they definitely do. All right, man. Thanks for coming on. It was a great, quick show, obviously, but that's the point. I hope everybody enjoyed listening. Let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter, man. I like good stuff.
Tomlin3, TOMLIN3.
All right. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
My college bets were pretty strong this week.
Yeah.
3-0-1, and I had 3 underdogs win outright.
Oh man, I can't get into the college stuff this year. I don't know why. Just doesn't seem like a real
What
season.
else do you have to do on Saturday?
I mean, I do
be a
this
family
all
guy,
day on
so.
Sunday, so like my wife likes me hanging out every once in a while. So
Fair enough.
unless the Hokies are playing, which I usually record the game and watch it at night, so it's okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the Patriots-Seahawks game. Peace.
Cheers.